Good day, ma'am, sir. We are the students from Electro-Mechanical Technology. Our research study is all about innovation of groundnut oil extractor using Arduino Nano. To introduce to you the background and rationale, we have Miss Claire Aspera.
Thank you, Mark. Background and rationale of our project. Groundnut in the Philippines. Globally, groundnut is one of the most important oil-bearing leguminous crops that contribute significantly to the food and nutrition security of the poor, particularly in developing countries where they are widely grown. Groundnut production increased at an annual rate of 3.1% from 12.5 million tons in 1981 to 1983 to 24 million tons in 2005 to 2007. Major factors that contribute to the yield responses of groundnut and maize to fertilizer and phytochemical properties were derived and identified in experiments conducted on 8 Philippine soils collected from different sites on Luzon Island. The traditional way in extracting groundnut oil. Oil can be extracted by pressing softer oil seeds in nuts, such as groundnuts and shea nuts, whereas harder, more fibrous materials such as copra and sunflower seed are processed using gannets. Pulp or groundnut material is loaded into a manual or hydraulic press to squeeze out the oil-water emulsion. Presses have a number of different designs which can be grouped into screw or hydraulic operation. Both types can be manual or motor-driven. In all types, a batch of raw material is placed in a heavy-duty perforated metal cage and pressed by the movement of a heavy metal plunger. The amount of material in the cage varies from 5 to 30 kg with an average of 20 kg. Layer plates can be used in larger cages to reduce the thickness of the layer of raw material and speed up the removal of oil. The pressure should be increased gradually to allow time for the oil to escape. Screw types are more reliable than hydraulic types but are slower and produce less pressure. Microcontroller compared to microprocessor. Nowadays, using microcontroller on a prototype is a trend and much more convenient. By simply changing the program instructions, various tasks can be performed by a single circuit without changing any hardware circuitry of the project or prototype. On the other hand, it is easier to write a program using microcontroller compared to microprocessor, in the sense that a microprocessor has a smaller number of registers, so more operations are memory-based. Also, they are reusable, cost-effective, dependable, and energy sufficient. The size of the processor chips is very small, so flexibility tends to occur. Introducing the groundnut oil extractor using microcontroller. The innovation of groundnut oil extractor using Arduino Nano, which this paper proposes, is aimed at detaching the hassle in operation, abolish the drudgery in every stage of extraction, and also improves both the quality and quantity of the oil extracted. This is achieved by adopting the automation technique in which all controls will be implemented inside a microcontroller to fully take on the whole process of operation and improve the sturdiness and stability of the system.
Thank you, Miss Claire Aspera. And the statement of the problem in this study, for the innovation of this design, the researchers address those following questions. 1. What design parameters to consider to develop the innovation of groundnut oil extractor? 2. What are the development strategies to ensure the innovation of groundnut oil extractor using Arduino Nano will work? 3. What are the parameters to evaluate the utility of the innovation of the peanut oil extractor using Arduino Nano? To introduce to you the objective of the study, we have Miss Kathleen Flores.
Thank you, Mark. The objectives of this study is to create an innovation of groundnut oil extractor using Arduino Nano. The researchers of this project develop aim 1. To design an innovation of electromechanical groundnut oil extractor using Arduino Nano. 2. To develop and ensure the efficiency of utilizing a groundnut oil extractor as a time-saver machine using an Arduino Nano microcontroller. 3. to evaluate the parameters of the electromechanical groundnut oil extractor in terms of its functionality, adaptability, and safety.
Thank you, Ms. Flores. To introduce you the review of related literature, we have Ms. Nore Chris Lacre.
Thank you, Mark. I'm Nori Chris Lacre, and I'll be discussing the review of related literature and studies. In this related studies and literature, it identifies here the different technologies used in groundnut oil extraction. We have here the first one, the manual operated groundnut roaster. It is developed by Abdullahi in 2008. Groundnut operated groundnut roaster is a manually operated. Groundnut roasting is one of the most important tasks in the processing of groundnut seeds for the production of oil. Traditionally, groundnut seeds are roasted in open steel pan, circular pans, or locally made clay pots supported over an open fire for about 8 to 9 minutes. This technique is rather hazardous and causes a great deal of discomfort to the operator due to the constant contact with heat and smoke from the fire. It also becomes extremely difficult to predict the actual time of the roasting. That is why modification was modification was done with the aim of achieving better efficiency in groundnut roasting, improving its appearance and reduce drudgery during the operation by adapting a new source of heat. The second one is the spinning and winnowing machine. When we say spinning, spinning means peeling off the skin. Winnowing is a process by which chaff is separated from grain. It can also be used to remove pests from stored grain. Winnowing usually follows threshing and grain preparation. The quality of grain which are heavy fall vertically while the weightless chaff and straw get blown away by the wind. Therefore, winnowing is effective only when there is a wind. The machine has a fan which can be rotated by pedaling, and the velocity of the wind generated can be controlled by the speed of the pedaling. The third one is the hydraulic oil extractor. It is designed by Odi et al. On 2010. It is a fabricated and evaluated manually operated hydraulic oil extractor for groundnut. It is made up of a piston, cylinder, collector, hydraulic jack, and frame. The testing was done by a 3-ton hydraulic jack, and the extractor unit was tested using press cage. And also, the machine capacity of 1.084 kilogram per hour for ground seeds was obtained. The fourth one is the screw press. It is claimed to be developed by Sui Machinery in 2008. It is a screw press for extraction of oil from oil seeds such as peanut, soya beans, olives, sesame, and sunflower. The last one is the expelling machine. It is developed by Ajao et al. On 2010. Expelling machine is for extracting oil from groundnut seeds, designed and fabricated for market-oriented production. The procedures employed the design stage, construction, and testing. The machine components are the following: the speed reduction gear, expellant unit, drains collector, driving and driven pulleys, and the hopper. The expelling unit consists of a screw expellant shaft with expellant barrel. The groundnut seeds were preheated by roasting before extraction of the oil in it. The machine gave a better performance at the speed of 60 revolutions per minute, and it improves the design by achieving the incorporation of heating chamber along the expeller barrel. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Nore Chris Lacre. To introduce to you the conceptual framework, we have Mr. Raymart Nipaya.
Good day, everyone. Thank you, Mark. So this is our conceptual framework. First is the input, where in the baseline research, materials, basic calculations, principles, and theories. Next is the process, where the system design, development, prototyping, implementation. And lastly, the output. The innovation groundnut oil extractor using Arduino Nano. So, so this is our machine. So some of the common types of oil machinery parts include lock nuts, chambers, screw, shocks, pulley, belt, gearboxes, frame, electric motor, and among others. These oil extraction machinery parts are very important because they support the basic as well as the major functions of the oil extractor machine, resulting in a successful extraction of oil on a regular basis. So the shaft is designed to support movement and redirection tension. Electric motor converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy. Then the belt, which is to transfer power, rotary energy from one source to another. Next is the pulley, which is allows a belt to smoothly through it when transmitting rational motion, and pulleys are used to make heavy work more manageable. The gearbox. The purpose of the gearbox is to increase or reduce speed. In fact, the name itself defines what it is, a box containing gears. Then, in the most basic sense, a gearbox functions like any system of gears. It alters torque and speed between a driving device like a motor or a load. Then the feeder or the hooper. This is where you add or load your materials and products. And the base frame, the frame of our machine. It holds the entire body of our machine. So that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Nipaya. Thank you. Thank you, classmates. Thank you, thank you, groupmates. That's all for today. Thank you.